Okay, this is Mama Grace and Papa's house.
Probably get a better picture from down a little further.
Yeah.
There, and you got lower. There you go.
Mama Grace and Papa's house. There's the cow pasture where Red and Rusty, the pigs, were, and the cow, and there's the chicken house. This was the old chicken house. They've turned it into a garage. Boy, the boxwoods have sure gotten big. They planted these boxwoods. Gorgeous boxwoods. But that's Mama Grace and Papa's old house. Down here was where the Middletons. Okay, these were the two lots that Mama and Daddy owned above the shop, and so they were my woods I used to play in. And there's the shop.
Across the street, neighbor wondering what you're doing.
You make sure I'm not running over anybody. I'm going over here. Here are the wonderful peonies. I guess I can go ahead and stop and get some better. It's hard to believe that's Daddy's shop. Doesn't look like it anymore. That was my path through here to go to the Adams house. There's the Adams house. It used to seem so far away. But I guess when you went through the woods it was. And actually that's the apartment they built. The Adams house was right next to it. That's a garage apartment. They were on the other side. But they were my woods. It's hard to believe. View of inside the shop. Looking toward the old house over there. You can kind of see it through there. I guess Daddy used to look at that window lot for Mama. I used to go sledding down this hill. And they'd be working in the shop, and there in the basement was the workshop. Up there was mostly storage, and then this was all display. Got my swimming pool down there. I think the swimming pool's all gone. Used to go down these steps right here to the swimming pool. I bet they filled it in. Her and Carolyn built that deck. There's the playhouse. I spent the night in that playhouse 1,000 times, and the barbecue is all gone now. Broken down. Okay, this is where I spent the night with Phyllis Ann and Phyllis Adams and Susan Eplin. Larry used to beat on the outside in the middle of the night and scare us to death. We'd spend the night in here just scared to death. We were so far away from the big old house. I don't know what happened to the old fireplace. It must have collapsed. We had many a barbecue here. And these were my woods. These were my woods. I can remember the crested dwarf iris. And then there was the creek over there. Then and there was the cow pasture for Mrs. Knipp, but they've turned it into woods now. Boy, some big tree really fell down there. Look at that. Wow. Huge tree. There's a lot of lily of the valley. There was a whole lot of those. This was a real formal garden when this was a country club at one time. Hey, Jan.
Hey, the shop is in remarkable shape.
Yeah.
Must have been just painted.
I can remember keeping animals down in this cage underneath the house. I think that's where I kept my white rooster. Was down there. This part still existed in a little porch, just up to where that is, and they added all of the deck.
When did he add this deck on?
Larry did after he came here. Okay. Okay, here's the den. Here's where we used to have the red sofa. And we'd watch television over here, right there. Daddy had his big red chair in here. When Pa lived with us, this was Pa's bedroom, and he had the table over there with all the knickknacks I was fascinated with. This was his bathroom, and at that time, and here was the tub. But then they turned that into a closet and moved the tub out here where Mama used to have a little desk. Okay. Mom and Dad liked the crane fixtures a whole lot. So when you left here, you went out into the big hallway in the Queen Anne chest with the black chairs on either side. Mama really loved this ruby lamp. And the Queen Anne corner cupboard and the table. They got that chandelier from Mildred and Mina Kavanaugh that lived down the street. When they moved to Maryland, they gave that to Mama and Daddy. The whole room seems real big. Get all the key sticks. That's the way you could throw trash down to the basement. Just sweep it right down the hole. This was the kitchen from a case of measles. When Larry and I had the measles, Mama got a cardboard box and we designed this kitchen. And they couldn't get knotted pine during the war, so they used things that the coffin cases came in. They did a good job. I guess I should go on up and get upstairs. This is where the Flowers of Loveliness frames were. Mama had the 8 frames here. Right here was where she had the chest with the 2 drawers on the bottom. Right here is where she had the chest with the first antique chest, antique piece of furniture. And right up here, I can remember these banisters looking down. Look at that. Right there was a 1787 chest. The ladder back rocker. My dollhouse set there. This was Larry's room. We thought it was sort of neat because we could crawl out here on the tin roof. And I think that's the same tin roof that Mom and Daddy had on it. Must have always been on there. It's never changed. And also, we could crawl out one of our bedroom windows and walk on top of the porch over to the other bedroom window. And over there, you could see Kenneth Templeton's house. It's now Boonesboro Shopping Center. Over here was my bedroom in the front of the house. It had a little Bo Peep paper, and then when I was about 10, 11, they put in real pretty Delft blue paper with pink flowers. And I can remember scraping the paint off the windows early one morning and waking everybody up, scraping it off with a razor blade. Also, I could call out of this window and get Susan Eplin attention on the other side of the cow pasture, which is way on another road, on Englewood Road. This was my bedroom. I can remember when they were fixing this closet, you could go from my closet all the way through that way to the bathroom, and I thought that was really neat. And this is the closet where I was so organized. I had everything done in colors with shoes matching pocketbooks, matching hats. The way we were in those days. My desk used to be there, antique desk, my little cherry chest, and Mama had the little doll beds coming out this way. And then Daddy's dressing stand he made me was there. And then my Tista bed was there, the headboard of the bed. Okay. Then down the hall was the bathroom here. Same fixtures that Mom and Daddy put in, the crane fixtures. And we bathed all the grandkids in that tub. Okay. Same mirrors, really. Mom and Daddy put those mirrors in. The sink was on feet, though. It wasn't on that. And then I can remember this old closet here. And this is the way you used to be able to sneak through to my room when they were putting in the closets. Okay. And then right next door would be Mom and Daddy's room. And they they added these two closets, Larry and Carolyn did. This one room didn't have any closets. Actually, it did. This was Daddy's closet here, I think. Oh no, let me think. One of these was Mama's and one was Daddy's, because there was a closet here at the end of the hall. And I bet this was Daddy's and the other was Mama's. Little shoe shine kit was there. Okay. One thing I remember about, these were the original fixtures Mom and Daddy had too. One thing I remember was this funny little light here, that when you cut it off, the glowworm, Mom and Daddy did that. And then this was the sewing room, Mama always called. And then she had her, typewriter and her things back in here. Pretty interesting, isn't it? I guess I should go up in the attic. Yeah. There used to be little holes along here where it wasn't even, and I hid a pack of Camel cigarettes there that I smoked for about 5 or 6 years till I got fairly sick. Okay. Here's the attic. It was never usable like that when I remember it, although at the very beginning they had the pool table up here. And I remember they had to take out the front windows of this house in order to get the pool table, a slate out to lift down off the roof. I can remember them doing that. And then it was just mostly storage up here. But we didn't have any of these shelves. Larry added all these shelves, which really makes it pretty convenient and great for storage. I guess I'll go back down now. Back here is where all the little miniature furniture was. Little miniature chests and things that...
Now, which was your room?
The one you just came out of?
That room there.
That room there, it was blue. Okay, I'm going to the basement. I am now in the living room. There used to be a plain fireplace there. And Mom and Daddy got Carson Adams to put in a bigger and brick one. Then they put in the mantel. So, the Mom and Papa chair on either side of the fireplace, and then the Victorian sofa was here. And Mama's antique desk was there. Okay. I'll go into the basement. Actually, I might as well show you how to get to the basement. This is it. Larry's taking down all the pictures off the wall now. I got pictures of that before. Okay, here's the way you come down. Used to be you could walk through there, and when I was growing up, they put that wall in there. And then they got a wash and dryer when I came home with Kathy and Deborah. They didn't have any wash and dryer until I came home with 2 kids in diapers. The old furnace used to be here that Daddy would shovel coal into. I can remember the water heater being there too. And this is where I kept Russell, my pet crocodile, pet alligator, for a year till he died. Boy, that's the old sink from the kitchen. I didn't know it was down here. That's the one we had in the kitchen for years and years. Okay. I guess that's the end of that. And here we enter the room and look at the scene that Mama and Mabel Craighead painted. Over here was where the ping pong table was, and that long bench. Let me get to the scene here again. That's the window Phyllis Adams and I crawled out of the time that Larry was chasing us with a Boy Scout hatchet. Scared us to death. We escaped to the Baldock's house till Mom and Daddy came home. Boy, most of the stuff's gone. Okay, here's the stuff Larry has that his kids didn't want, so I'll get to get some of it. I don't see the high chair. I hope it's somewhere close by. I don't see it. Mabel Craighead, Mama's cousin, and Mama did this. And actually, I never had seen the canoe there before. And actually, up here's a little house too.
Okay.
Okay, these are Jess. These were the neat old pictures. Okay, I can remember studying these things.
That camera's been doing heavy duty today. I'm surprised the battery's still there.
Yeah. There we go. I get you putting the key up.
I was through there, you know.
Okay.
Every door open. Did you check the back door and so forth? But I think that's good enough.
Okay.
Ain't nothing that's about taking away.
There's Miss Cadip's house. Here's Jack Rice's house. Right over there. That's where I used to cut down to Jack Rice's store. And this is Kenneth Templeton's house. It used to be over in the cow pasture where they built the shopping center. They moved it up here, a brick house. Here's the Inglewood Baptist Church. That was Mildred and Mina Kavanaugh's house. It gave them the crystal thing. That's the Baldocks.
Some of these people down here bought his house. It must be this one.
I don't think so.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
the
what it said
Baldocks.
just down the street.
Well, there's a lot of houses right down the street.
That's a house that just sold.
All this was a gypsy kind of triangle. That house was Patricia Dresser's. It's about as far as I could go on my bike. Because this is where old Boonesboro Road hit new Boonesboro Road. Okay, it was always dangerous pulling out of here, and it still is.
You don't drive by your folks' house?
No, it's okay. This is Mimosa Drive, where you turn up to go to Larry's house that he traded with Mom and Daddy in '78. At Mimosa Drive. And Mom and Daddy lived there. Margie lived up there near them too, on Woodland. Woodcrest, I mean. They lived on Woodcrest. This is Greenway Court that Aunt Gail lived on. Go down Greenway Court. She lived in a stone house down there. This was all outside the city till I was a senior in high school. And this is where we catch the bus to go to school. We had to pay tuition to go to school, and this was the end of the line. This is Peakland. And we'd come over here to Palmer's Esso to call Daddy, or go down here to what was Bobby's, but they've taken it down, and it's just a shopping mall. Huh. There's the old drugstore turned into a clothing shop, Pearson's Drugstore. There's Clayton, where Jean lived, and I took piano lessons at this house right there from Merle Broken Barrel for years, and then took from Miss Cheatham, Margaret Cheatham, further down. This is Somerset, where Betty Patterson lived. Parkland, where Elizabeth Dorson lived, and Susan Eplin. The Eplins moved to when they moved back from Richmond. One day we walked from the end of the line to Pearson's down here on the center line of Vermont Avenue. Oh me. Behind this brick wall here was where they gave me my debutante party. It faces the other way, but it's a really nice house. Here's Oakwood Country Club, where I was a debutante. Had a lot of Christmas parties, a lot of dances. And I used to go swimming there with Jean Warden and Betty Patterson a lot. Jane Babel lived up this street. Betsy Hurt lived up this street. And here's the hospital where I was born and Larry was born. And Mama had hepatitis for 3.5 months. And Daddy died. Virginia Baptist Hospital. Villa Maria's up here where Betty Thomas and Jean Warden and I hung a red lantern we took from a construction job one time. It's up here a little bit. It was a Catholic girls' school, so we thought they needed a blinking red light.
What is it
There
now?
it is. I don't know. It was Villa Maria Academy.
It might be a private one now.
Could be. I wonder if the Cavalier's still here. It was a sort of a beer joint, and we were forbidden to go in there, but every now and then we'd go in for some crazy reason. And there it is, the old Cavalier. Looks like it's in a lot worse repair than when I was here.
It says Cavalier on it.
Does it? Here we're coming to Rannoch-Macon Women's College, RMWC. Marsha went here. Theodore Jack, the President Emeritus, said he thought I should go to Agnes Scott, and then if I wanted to transfer back here, I had my schedule worked out so I could. Oh, I missed the columns. Columns is where we had that dinner, remember? The rehearsal dinner that they gave us.
Where am I going to go now?
You keep going straight. Got a stoplight up. Boy, this is all completely changed. Pearson's drugstore used to be on the end, and that's where we would stop after the piano recitals and get banana splits as a reward for playing well at the piano recital. Right around here was St. John's Episcopal Church, where Angel was buried. She was cremated and her ashes are interred there in the courtyard. We used to play duo piano a lot in recitals. Two piano and sometimes duets. Down here is my grammar school, Garland Roads. It's not used as a grammar school anymore. I think it's a school of the arts now. But this is where I came from the 3rd grade to the 6th grade was down at Virginia School of Garland Roads. Nice park back in there. This is Rivermont Avenue, right there at Oakwood Country Club. It changes from Boonesboro Road to Rivermont Avenue. Do you mind rolling up your window so it won't be quite as noisy? Thank you. And here's where Mama Grace lived. After Papa died when I was about 15, she moved here and lived for 16 years after he died. And they copied B and Wade's house in Richmond, 5204 Caledonia Road, and they built this little house almost identical to it. And Mama Grace lived here for 16 years right there. Bryson burned his fingers on her stove. I can remember Mama was keeping Bryson, and how much it upset him. This is where I used to have my piano recitals, was at this church. I can remember just being panicked going into that door for my piano recitals.
Every church is being worked on now.
That's Cavill Street. We have Point of Honor down there. And here's the funeral home where Mama Grace was buried and Papa was buried and Jack was buried. I can remember going there with kin folks selecting caskets and things. Guess that's why I want to be cremated. Spent too much time at funeral homes.
Lynchburg Art Club back there.
Well, you know, the Jones Memorial Library was down here, and it was the big library in town. And we would come here all the time, and now it's more like historical records.
Sort of like the McCloud.
Yeah. It was a real pretty library. It had a dome and everything. See it right here? Jones Memorial Library.
It says Christ College now.
Ha! Well, it was a library.
Patrick Henry Institute.
My goodness. Private school. Evidently. Go to plays there at that place that says Piedmont's, and I remember something else. This used to be just a 2-lane bridge over here, and there were all kind of signs over there. You had billboards covering that whole thing. We're crossing the creek that came Holland's Mill, I guess. It comes down to the James. Used to be this came out on Main Avenue, and now this comes out one street up.
Right here. You want to drive through town?
Yeah, let's do. There's the Allied Arts building where I used to go to my dentist, Dr. Tinsley, and then Dr. Hurt. Let's go down so we can ride down Main Street.
Down.
Actually, Mom and Daddy had a thing up here. Had an antique shop up here on Church Street. Oh, and there's that church up there, Bill, where we got married. See up there? There's that church. And here's the Y where Daddy and I come pick Mama up all the time. She went around here on the side. That's where you go into Mama's.
One way now, Vicky. Can't go on Main Street.
Oh, you can't? Well, you can't go around the block then. If you can, I'll just get a videotape down it. That's going across the bridge to go out to Amherst. Papa's Lynchburg used to be down under the bridge there. There's Main Street. Sorry you can't see 9th and Main, because that's where I worked at Lynchburg National Bank as a teller in savings and had a lot of fun.
Can I?
I don't know. Also, the Warden Printing Company was down there, where we printed one of Mama's books.
I'm not sure this goes through. It doesn't go through.
You just, oh goodness. Texas Inn used to have really good hot dogs. They had the chili dogs and slaw dogs right there. And back here was the Dutch Treat, which is not back there anymore, at Paramount Theater, where we used to go to movies all the
How do you
time.
get into the Texas Inn? It looks like it's impossible.
Okay, we came up 5th Street, and now we're going to go look at that church. That was the colored church right here, the black church, and they before they ever sing. And then we were right over here. This is their church, Court Street Church. They have adult daycare
We're
too.
at Gunner Theater there now.
No,
Or next
yeah.
door to it.
But still, that's their church. That's their church. And that's the Catholic church where I used to go with Carol Harding from Emporia when she came to town. And back there was St. Paul's Episcopal, where Daddy's family went to church.
Churches and row houses here. I don't remember those. Samuel Rockendyke.
We missed getting a picture of the monument. You know how you come up and see the monument from down there?
We'll probably go down here somewhere.
Here's the monument right here. See it from the top? And I can remember going up and down those steps. That was called Monument Terrace. Lynchburg's kind of the Quebec of the South because it's built on so many hills, so many levels down here. It's also the Rome, called Rome because it's built on 7 hills. Isn't that a pretty house? Look at that house, would you? Daddy lived in one of these houses. I wish I knew which one. They rented a house, one of these big houses down here. And this is where Daddy went to grammar school.
That is. Would you look?
Yeah.
My goodness, I never saw anything quite like that. Is that Catholic?
That's Baptist, I think. I think that was the Baptist church.
Steeples like that on some Catholic churches.
Okay, you need to go left here. This is 12th Street. I have walked up this street all the way to Robert E. Lee. My junior high school was up there. It's not a junior high anymore. I think it's made into apartment buildings now.
Antique toys in there. Lynchburg Historical Foundation.
can't drive up Church Street, can you? Because it's one way.
Right. So where are we gonna go now?
Okay, this is where.
Downtown.
Well, this is where I came. See, Bateau Land, and so the farmer market is. I did this with Kathy. We went to these antique shops along here. Pretty neat antique shops. We'll go up to 9th Street and go up, because then I can show my bank where I was a teller.
Go up.
Okay, down here is my bank where I had so much fun. 3 summers I was a teller in this big old bank. It was the best bank. And then it was Lynchburg National.